Okay, so the stage is clear for our next keynote, and we have a very fantastic speaker and session lined up for you next. So in a world where our digital ecosystems are expanding faster than we can map them, our next conversation could not be more timely. The session, titled Beyond the Silos, Exposure Management in a New Age of Risk, is all about stepping back from traditional fragmented security models and looking at our environments the way that attackers do. You know, because attackers don't just operate in these neat little categories. They move laterally, chain weaknesses, and exploit the cracks between teams and tools. And that's why exposure management has become one of the most critical shifts in modern cybersecurity. So to talk us through all of that and more, please join me in welcoming to the stage Mark Thurmond, co-CEO of Tenable.
Assalamu alaikum. Good afternoon. It's an honor to be here with you today in the heart of Saudi Arabia, which has now become a global symbol of ambition, transformation, and forward-thinking leadership. My name is Mark Thurmond, and I'm the co-CEO of Tenable, which is among the largest cybersecurity companies in the world today. We help more than 44,000 organizations to understand and reduce their cyber risk through exposure management. Now, what is exposure management? What does exposure management mean? It simply helps organizations gain visibility and insight into the gaps in their security infrastructure and provides them with extremely specific action plans to fix them. So we have a solid understanding at Tenable of the challenges organizations are dealing with and a perspective on how those challenges can be overcome. And I'll get into that in a few minutes. First, I have to just say the energy here in Saudi Arabia this week has been absolutely undeniable. We're witnessing one of the most remarkable national transformations in modern history. Vision 2030 isn't just a blueprint for economic diversification. It's a bold declaration about the future. From the innovation of NEOM and the futuristic engineering of the line, Saudi Arabia is driving toward a clear vision that will involve a rich ecosystem of technology collaborations. Look no further than Thurmond, the kingdom's AI innovation company, which received a commitment of more than $5 billion from AWS to build out data centers in what will become a groundbreaking AI zone in the near future. Thurmond will also partner with important global companies like NVIDIA and AMD, and is well on its way of becoming a world leader in this space. It's an incredible example of what happens when visionary leadership meets cutting-edge technology. And it's also a reminder that these innovations need to be protected. Ambition on this scale brings new challenges. The same digital foundations fueling Saudi Arabia's progress, including cloud platforms, the Internet of Things, and AI systems, also introduce new opportunities for cyber criminals to exploit them. We call that at Tenable the digital attack surface. Protecting that literally has to do just not with technology. It's essential that we have to look at it as a possibility to secure the nation's future. It's a global priority. While we typically talk about cyber risk only in business terms, we have to remember that it can impact people's lives also. Patients who can't get life-saving treatments, families who can't access essential services, and manufacturing employees who could lose their jobs if factories get shut down. Just this past summer, we saw the most financially damaging attack in UK's history, when Jaguar Land Rover was hit by a ransomware attack that required a total production shutdown for over a month. The incident will end up costing upwards of $2.5 billion. There was also a case in the UK of an engineering firm, Arup, which fell victim to a convincing AI deepfake after a video call with an AI-generated CFO, a finance employee in Hong Kong was tricked into doing a wire transfer for $25 million to the attackers. Cyber damages are forecasted to reach $10.5 trillion by the end of this year. And that number is expected to grow to 12 trillion by 2030. And yes, that is trillion with a T. I'm here to talk about the fundamental shift in how we should approach these challenges. The playbook that cybersecurity industry has followed for over 20 years simply does not work anymore in this environment. In the age of AI, we have to adopt a new approach, a new mindset, a new discipline called exposure management. At its core, exposure management is the process of identifying, assessing, and reducing cyber risk. Because today's cyber programs are trying to navigate three converging forces. The first one is an explosion of the digital attack surface. The second is a set of fragmented defenses. And the third is this rapidly maturing adversary. First, as organizations have embraced AI, they've moved to the cloud, they've allowed and embraced hybrid work environments. The attack surface has actually grown exponentially. The numbers are staggering. Microsoft alone tracks more than 600 million cyber attacks against their customers daily. The average security team today is responsible for managing 400,000 assets. This has been a fundamental revolution, and the vast majority of these assets now sit outside an organization's physical location, making them harder to secure. There's an old cybersecurity adage saying that protecting data is like guarding a castle with a moat. Today, the data just isn't in the castle anymore. It's in the cloud, it's in mobile devices, it's in SaaS applications. The data is everywhere, and you can't build a wall, you can't build a moat around everywhere. Now let's add another layer to that challenge. When we say the data is everywhere, that raises some concerns. Here in this region, visionary frameworks like Saudi's PDPL and the NCA's essential cybersecurity controls rightfully demand to know exactly where the data is, who can access it, and how it's governed. This isn't just a security problem, this is a data sovereignty and compliance one. Consider that in the context of a giga project like NEOM, which will have billions of connected physical devices sprawling IoT networks that will create mountains and mountains of sensitive data, all interconnected in a complex digital ecosystem. This is where exposure management becomes critical. Let's take that concept and apply it to your own organization. Think of your enterprise or your government agency as its own digital smart city. Every server is a power plant. Every cloud application is a skyscraper. Every employee's laptop is a connected vehicle. And every piece of data represents a citizen that needs protection. But what happens when that city expands at an incredible pace without a master blueprint? The city runs blind. The digital traffic mans add up, falling telecoms, blind spots. It becomes a perfect situation for adversaries and intruders. This is the reality of the modern attack surface. Exposure management gives you that master blueprint to identify where the risks are. Tenable research predicts that there will be 515 billion, yes, billion, 515 billion instances of unpatched vulnerabilities this year alone. And roughly 20% of data breaches involved unpatched vulnerabilities as the initial vector of entry for the adversary. But the simple math is, only 3% of known vulnerabilities actually expose organizations to risk of an attack. So the bad guys are using AI to search for those critical few vulnerabilities, bypassing the rest. Now, the second major obstacle we have to contend with is that our defenses are fragmented. Not long ago, cybersecurity teams relied on a handful of tools to protect their on-premise network. Today, to cover all the domains within security, organizations deploy, on average, of 83 different cybersecurity technologies from 29 different vendors. Think of the complexity that introduces to these cyber programs. Security teams are managing thousands of alerts per day. However, the reality is 40% of these alerts literally go unaddressed. Managing these disconnected silos of different tools is chaotic. It forces organizations to stand up multiple organizations. Think of SecOps, cloud security, AppSec, risk management, cloud security. A security organization is set up just like a football team. You have a dedicated experts at every position, a world-class goalkeeper protecting your cloud from strong defenders looking to knock down your networks, and a creative midfielder managing your applications. But if they're just out there playing their own game without a unified strategy, what happens? They get pulled out of position, leaving huge open gaps in the field. They get in each other's way. The result is messy. The opposing team, the attackers in this case, literally have easy exploits to go after and to attack. They're able to breach your defenses. And in this world, that's all about protecting yourselves and allowing those defenders to not score goals. Exposure management is like an elite football team. They don't actually handle the ball. They command it from the sidelines. They see the entire field. They have the strategic approach, which is the game plan. They understand that the opponent's tactics will ensure that the players are well positioned to work as a unified team. It turns a group of talented individuals into a winning organization. It makes them capable of proactively shutting down every attack and reduce the risk of losing. Without it, imagine that star goalkeeper, your cloud admin, facing 50 shots on goal every single game because the defense is out of position. This fragmented, disjointed defense is the attacker's greatest advantage. According to PwC, AI is expected to contribute over $135 billion to Saudi Arabia's economy by 2030. That's the biggest gain from AI anywhere in the entire Middle East. The Saudi Data and AI Authority's stated goal is to be the global leader within the next 5 years. The speed of AI adoption in the global enterprise has been absolutely unprecedented. Today, 78% of organizations have already adopted AI in at least one area of their operations. But it will be so much bigger. The global AI market is forecasted to grow to $4.8 trillion by 2033. That is a 2,500% increase within this decade. There's no doubt about it. We will be more reliant on AI in the years to come. AI is transforming the economics of cyber attacks, making them faster, more sophisticated, and harder to detect. It can speed attack times in regard to developments by 100x, reducing the process from weeks to literally minutes. According to IBM research, a human-crafted phishing email takes on average of roughly 16 hours to create. AI can do it even better in less than 5 minutes. This year, 1 in 6 reported breaches have involved AI-driven attacks. 87% of organizations across the globe have been hit with an AI-driven cyber attack in the last year. And according to Gartner, 4 out of 5 senior risk executives identify AI-enhanced attacks as literally their top threat. Attackers are using AI-powered malware to get automation customized and being able to build its own code and going after numerous victims. This makes it virtually invisible and extremely difficult for traditional software to actually find these AI-driven attacks. In fact, just a week ago, we saw the first documented case of a cyber espionage attack that was almost fully orchestrated by artificial intelligence. The AI company Anthropic reported that a Chinese state-sponsored group had allegedly used Claude Code to automate a global espionage campaign. This event is a significant shift in cyber attack models, as it demonstrates that AI is becoming autonomous, and it highlights the need for new cybersecurity defenses to counter AI-driven attacks. So what are organizations supposed to do when facing these highly targeted attacks? The answer is exposure management, which unifies siloed teams, tools, and data. It's fireproofing rather than firefighting. It's an approach that embraces preemptive, proactive security to prevent the bad guys from getting access to sensitive data in the first place. Attackers thrive in complexity, and a fragmented security program is the playground for them. Exposure management platforms break down these silos, and they are built for the reality of today. They provide a unified view of every asset and every exposure. For a project as complex as Vision 2030, unified visibility isn't a feature, it is a baseline for survival. Traditional tools give us a long list of vulnerabilities, but they don't address risk in its full context. With an AI-powered exposure management platform, we can finally see risk the same way the attackers do. It connects all of the dots and shows you how you could actually be breached in the real world. Imagine your platform telling you that a server is vulnerable. Then it also tells you that based on its configuration, that exact server has a 75% probability of being a point of entry for a ransomware attack, and it actually even gets better. With exposure management, it can forecast that attack might come within the next 30 days. This is the key to staying ahead of the adversaries. It enables your teams to prioritize and focus on what truly matters most. The simple fact is, humans can't remediate fast enough. Not when AI is automating attacks in seconds. And let me be 100% clear on this point. This isn't a slight against all of the amazing cybersecurity professionals. It's simply a math problem. Human teams can't manually analyze and respond to all the threats that are being executed by AI machine and AI machine speed. It is simply not possible. It's not a human problem, it is a math problem. So, to level the playing field, it's absolutely essentially important that we fight AI with AI. Exposure management evolves into a self-driving systems, and it answers 3 critical questions. What needs to be fixed? How does it actually get fixed, and what are those processes? And at which point do humans get involved? Your team deserves a new playbook that gives them clarity and enables them to reduce risk. AI is transforming the rules of engagement. And in response, it's up to us to transform our defenses. The cyber landscape is evolving, but so are we. Just look at the confident and visionary leadership we're seeing here in Saudi Arabia. We're not beholden to the past. Our mission is to anticipate, to lead, and to build systems that not only respond to risk, but eliminate it before it emerges. A preemptive approach is literally the only way. Let's move forward together with a shared commitment to secure a bold, prosperous future here in Saudi Arabia and around the world. The future belongs to those who see risk clearly and act on it. Shukran. I look forward to many great meetings and discussions this week. Thank you very much.
A big thank you to Mark there. You know, exposure management isn't just another security framework. It really is a mindset shift. So we're moving beyond silos and understanding our environments end to end is ultimately what allows us to see the risks that matter, prioritize with purpose, and stay ahead of attackers who thrive on the gaps that we overlook. Okay.